there's a lot of, like, this industry's been hit hard for like a good 2 years now. It has. But what I'm trying to educate a lot of reviewers on is that there's going to be a small amount of companies that are left, but the opportunity is immense. Would you not agree with that? Back here in Denver, Colorado, TDR on location this week at the MAPS Psychedelics Science Conference. Big week to say the least. Look who we have here. Old face to the podcast once again, the CEO of Cybin, Doug Drysdale. Good to see you.
Hey, Shad. Yeah, old face. Getting older every day.
Younger, I should say. And Anthony Verrill, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah. So what do you think of the conference so far? I got 12,000 tickets sold. We've been tweeting and posting throughout the week, but I must say, like, it's pretty impressive as far as the overall size of crowd that's attended in the first couple of days.
And first of all, kudos to MAPS for putting it together.
Yeah.
I mean, really well organized.
Yeah.
12. I mean, it's just really well put together.
I know.
You think they've been doing this for years. It's really well done. And, I was a bit skeptical about how much value would there be for us here, but there's been so much cross-pollination.
You've seen a lot of value?
Yeah, I really do. I memean, we've met with folks that we could collaborate with, certainly in different tracks that we wouldn't necessarily have reached out to.
Yep.
We've maybe potential partnerships, KOLs, investors are here, philanthropists are here. It's not normal you get that many people all in one place, so it's been really good.
Are you seeing a lot of investors here?
There's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few. I think, quite honestly, for those folks, they already know what's going on, but just trying to keep up to speed.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to have you on. I know we had a lot of feedback from our podcast that we did, I think it's about a month ago now, but update your main two compounds, the trials with CYB-003 and CYB-004, as we were saying off camera, is garnering a lot of attention amongst you and your scientific team. Maybe elaborate on what you're seeing pertaining to DMT and why I guess a lot of investors should be interested as to what's been progressing.
Yeah, I think this next 6 months is probably the most exciting 6 months in Cybin's history.
Really?
Frankly. I mean, we've spent a lot of time with early chemistry, preclinical. Now we're getting clinical results coming. So our psilocybin program is wrapping up phase 2.
Yep.
We're already starting to see some really good efficacy signals coming out of that. Obviously, the study's blinded, but you can't help notice when patients are transformed after a single dose. So that's really exciting. Efficacy results towards the end of the year, third, fourth quarter. And for us, I think that's huge, a huge milestone. And will set us up for phase 3 beginning sometime in quarter 1 next year.
It's interesting to see how this industry is going to be over the next 6 months because there's a lot of trial results that are going to unfold in the fall. And one can only hope it actually is what everybody hopes it's going to be, which is very positive. What's that say and what's that do for you think for the industry come fall?
Look, I think I was just at Bio a few weeks ago, and I've seen a big change in Big Pharma and their attitude. They've gone from kind of somewhat interested in watching to quite excited.
Really?
Because data's coming. I mean, they work off of data. And while it's fairly clear that these molecules work, you've still got to prove it. You've still got to prove it. So data's coming. Lots of studies coming up. Not all will be positive. We have to remember that. In clinical trials, there's always going to be some hiccups here and there. But we're excited about the data that's coming on 03. And then with CYB-004, which is our deuterated DMT.
Right.
This molecule is really potent.
Is it?
So really seeing intense psychedelic effects without a lot of the physiological effects. So with less of the increased heart rate and increased blood pressure, which is good. But we're going to have to dial the dose down a bit, which is great because it means we can take away the need for that big IV infusion pump and all the specialist equipment and the special clinics like you have with ketamine and put CYB-004 into a small volume injectable, subcutaneous injectable. So you can dose that anywhere. Therapist's office, a doctor's office.
Yeah.
No need for a patient to be hooked up.
Yeah, you're taking the overhead away.
We're taking away all the overhead, all the infrastructure, the staffing, the equipment. And I think that shouldn't be underestimated.
No.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, with Usona and Compass achieving breakthrough for psilocybin, how does that bode for CYB-003?
That's a pretty good question. I haven't been asked that before.
That's a good question.
We've met with FDA in the past. We've certainly talked to them about this. And we know we need to deliver. based on what I know from the data, I don't see any reason at this point, in my opinion, that we wouldn't get breakthrough therapy designation this year.
Okay.
I think that would be huge.
Yeah. So we're looking at a really exciting 2 quarters coming up.
I think so. Like, you asked what is going to get partners and what's going to get investors excited. That certainly would, I would think.
100%. So let's love to speculate in the media, right? So if you basically have the data that you're hoping to be, what then happens when you go into a phase 3? Could you get sponsorship from Big Pharma?
I think we have a lot of options. Obviously we'd like to continue by ourselves as long as we can, keep creating value. That obviously depends on funding, but I think we've done a pretty good job of being creative with funding. These catalysts, we hope, will support equity raises. Always looking at ways to raise funds that are not dilutive, of course. Definitely one of those is a pharma partnership of some kind. We do have 2 programs. I think that's been a good thing for us to have some diversification. And it may be that we can partner on one to help monetize another or advance another. So I think we have plenty of options. We'll see how investors react to the data.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone from Pharma at the conference so far?
I did not yet. No, I did not yet. And I asked many of them at Bio if they were coming, and I don't think so. I think it's just a little diverse.
Do you think we see psychedelics kind of teeper into the to like the JP Morgan healthcare conference shortly?
Yeah, I think you would with positive data, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would hope so. Like, wasn't Compass presenting last year at JP Morgan?
There?
I think they were. So that's a good first step, and they're obviously at a size and at a stage that will be of interest to JP Morgan.
Yeah.
I think every major banking healthcare conference out has mental health and psychedelics.
Right.
And we were at a Jefferies conference recently, very, very, very top tier bank. They're paying attention.
I was speaking to Dan Aarons at the Benzinga conference back in April, and he was talking about their psychedelic ETF. And he was saying, whenever we see positive news, the stock that actually trades better than most because it's very well familiar is Cybin. So if you're looking at potential phase 2 data, Compass results in phase 3, FDA rumored to be producing or legalizing or approving, I should say, MDMA within the next 6 to 8 months. There's a lot of, this industry's been hit hard for a good 2 years now. Yeah. It has. But what I'm trying to educate a lot of reviewers on is that there's going to be a small amount of companies that are left, but the opportunity is immense. Would you not agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Some of these near-term catalysts, just having MAPS get their NDA accepted by FDA, that in itself is a huge achievement, and people shouldn't underestimate what it takes to get there. And that would be a huge acknowledgement by FDA that they're ready to review that file.
Right.
Now, whether it takes 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, we'll see. It's in the hands of the FDA at that point, but huge validation.
Yeah.
And approval would go even further. I think the MAPS program, the MDMA program, is very different than what we're doing, but great proof of concept, proof of principle, shows investors and potential partners that this can be done.
Yeah.
I think the next program that's closest to ours would be Compass. Obviously, they've got their phase 3s to get through. But already we know, because they have breakthrough therapy designation, that FDA signed off on their phase 3 program.
Right.
That you don't necessarily get that without breakthrough. So that it's a collaborative process. So we know that Compass is going into their program with sign off from FDA. Investors are looking at all of this.
Of course they are.
But they're also looking at the commercial practicalities. How can we optimize the molecules? How can we optimize the treatment regimens? How can we optimize the protocols to remove a lot of those infrastructure costs, stuff?
Yeah, I think the infrastructure thing has always been a big question right now. But my advice is let's just get the data first and positive results. We'll get that figured out. But this is the first big step in the right direction.
I'm not concerned about commercialization, because when I think about, there are lots of treatments that have kind of peripheral costs around them. Chemotherapy.
I was just going to say, look at something like chemo.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, dialysis, it's all...
Exactly.
Psychedelic-assisted therapy is I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a heavy lift, but I mean, it's going to get scaled down.
Well, 2 things I'd say about that.
Time.
I mean, there are a lot of drugs where you got to get blood tests before you can even take it, right? So Ozempic is doing really well right now. You got to have liver function tests.
Yeah.
So how much the lab test cost?
Yeah.
I think from the bills I've seen, more than a therapy session. So that's the first thing. The other thing is I'd say that we're not trying to do psychotherapy. We're trying to provide psychological support, right?
Okay.
Preparation, medicine, integration. Much of that can be done with telemed, video, remote. We can remove a lot of costs, but we're not trying to do a year's worth of psychotherapy here.
Yeah.
You can't do psychotherapy in a few sessions. This is just getting the patient prepared, pre-care and aftercare, and that happens with many other treatments.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Last time you were on, you said catalyst moment is finding the right molecule, correct?
I think, finding the right molecule starts very early.
Yeah.
And has to be thoughtful. I'm really proud of our team because as we selected these molecules out of many we could have chosen, we were thinking of the end goal, the commercialization goal, right from the beginning. So we wanted to start with 2 molecules that were well understood, psilocybin and DMT. Wanted to improve the pharmacokinetics of both. We think we've done that. We're both certainly seeing very big changes with our deuterated DMT. And with, as I said, much more potent with our psilocybin analog. So if those can translate into benefits for patients, providers, and payers, then we've done our job. Yes.
Appreciate the update. Safe travels home. Great interview other than these damn mosquitoes in Colorado, right?
Good to be in person for once. We're just paying our price with the mosquitoes.
It's really nice to be here. I'll bring my younger face next time.
Get a raspy on that one. That was a bad intro. I take that back, brother. I take that back. You were thought about the Benjamin Button of psychedelics. You get younger and younger. Did I correct that correctly?
Yeah.
Am I good? Redeem myself. All right. Thanks, Doug.
Pretty well. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
What's up, everyone? So what'd you think of the interview? Are there any more questions you want us to ask that you want to learn more of? Then leave a comment below and let us know what you think. As usual, share this video with your network, smash that like button, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel because we would not be here without you. Thanks for watching, everyone.